Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Christian Homeschool Moms podcast. I'm Demetria, your host, and this is episode number 128. So I'm excited because on today's episode, I have a beautiful guest to share with you. And I'm going to introduce her in just a moment. But first, I want to share with you that we are over on YouTube. So please check us out on this podcast, YouTube. You can find me at Mom Zest, Zest. And you can also find us over at Christian Homeschool Moms podcast on iTunes and on Spotify. So that's Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are also on a host of other platforms like Google Podcasts and so forth. So if you would just type in Christian Homeschool Moms if you're looking for us, and we'll be there to support you in your homeschooling endeavors and pray that this podcast is a blessing to you. Please be sure to leave us a review, okay, in iTunes because it's very helpful. All right, now this interview is going to be so encouraging. I am all about encouragement. I'm all about homeschool encouragement. So you will keep hearing that buzzword, as I talk about home education, because after 15 years of homeschooling my girls, and now one is out of the house and one is heading into high school and is currently attending a virtual school. So I've had all of these years of really just being home with the girls and teaching them and choosing curriculum and working with them and shaping their minds and hearts. And I'm coming from a Christian perspective. So we are a Christian family. And so I created this podcast and this blog out of the desire to encourage other moms of faith who are also choosing to home educate their kids to continue along that journey for as long as you feel led to, right? And if there's a day when you feel like that's no longer a thing, then that's okay. But that's one of the things that my guest Kaylani and I talk about. And just the idea of, freeing yourself to do what's best for your family at the season of your life you're in. So we talk about some things that I think will be really helpful for you. Let me go ahead and introduce Kaylani. Kaylani is a former public school educator turned a homeschooling mom. She's an online educator and homeschool co-op founder. As a dedicated wife and homeschool mom to one, she inspires and encourages families to begin and maintain their homeschooling journey while balancing self-care and family life. I like that word, self-care. Now, Lani is the founder of Teacher Kaylani LLC and an online tutoring company, co-founder of Melanated Homeschool Tampa Co-op, a homeschool cooperative created with children of color in mind, and the Melanated Homeschool Collective LLC, which is a community focused on helping melanated homeschool mamas balance self-care, homeschool, and life. So without further ado, we are going to jump straight into this interview with Kaylani, and I can't wait for you to hear from her and all the encouraging advice she has for you. And I'll be back at the end to wrap things up. I hope to see you at the end of the podcast and continue to listen in on this interview and enjoy. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Christian Homeschool Moms podcast. I have a wonderful guest with me today, and she's a former public school teacher. She's turned homeschool educator, and she also is an online educator. She has her tutoring business, and she's the co-founder of a homeschool co-op. So there's a lot that I can say about her, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. We are having a homeschool mom chat, and we just want to share about our lives as homeschool moms and the ins and outs of it, the ups and downs, and all of the things that you guys are probably asking about. So welcome to the show, Kaylani. Glad to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Demetria. I'm super excited to be here. This is my first official podcast. So thank you for inviting me to the opportunity. I'm so excited.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to have you. So, okay, you get to officially introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. Tell us your how you kind of got into homeschooling, and also a little bit about your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Kaylani. Everyone calls me Lani. Either one works for me. I live in the great state of Florida. Nice, beautiful weather all the time. That's why I'm outside. I am married. I have 3 children, 1 biological and 2 bonus. And I used to be a public school educator. I left public education for a myriad of reasons. And once I made that decision, I kind of started thinking about how, like, if I didn't feel like I was able to properly help kids in that system, why did I think that that system would be able to help my child? So I pulled her out after first grade. So she went to kindergarten and first in public and charter schools. And then I pulled her out and we have been homeschooling since then. She is currently in the fourth grade and we've been doing it ever since.
Ever since. You never looked back. That's awesome.
Nope.
So you knew what you wanted and you said, this is not what I want. So you
Mm-hmm,
eliminated
mm-hmm.
that and then you guys came home. So that's beautiful. So do you just homeschool your fourth grader right now?
Yes, I just homeschool her. My other two kids, they're still in the public school system, but blended families, different decisions for different
Right.
kids. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. So, okay. Now, so we know what made you decide to homeschool. Now, how about the way you homeschool? Like, what would you say is do you have an underlying philosophy or like, what's your methods?
Ooh, okay. This one is a hard one because I kind of go back and forth. I like to identify myself if I have to as an eclectic homeschooler.
Mhm.
Honestly, we do whatever feels right at the time, and that may change from month to month. That may change from year to year. So we love books. We're always in the library. We're always reading. So that's the Charlotte Mason piece. We
Mhm.
love unit studies. And oftentimes we will study places that we are going to travel to. So we might study the architecture there. We might study the history of the city, any monuments, things like that. So we like unit studies. I really like practical learning,
Uh-huh.
just living life and learning. So then there's some unschooling there. I
Little bit
love
of
to go
everything.
on field trips. Yeah, so a little bit of everything. And it changes over time. It depends on where we are and what we are doing, what method that we're actually using.
I love that answer. I love it. I love what you said because that frees so many of us to
Mm-hmm.
really take it not just year by year, but essentially week by week, month by month, because it really depends on what your family needs at that moment. So you've just
Right.
freed up a lot of people because we don't have to ascribe to one way of doing things and stick with it for the long haul. We can really weave in and out of things as our children grow, as we mature, like things just change. So that's
Right.
very freeing. So I'm glad you said that. And then also, so what does you mentioned field trips and you mentioned, I mean, this is all rich. This is like you're taking what's in your environment and just add
Mm-hmm.
that to your homeschool day and just saying, this is what we have. Let's go see what we have available to us in our community. So I think that's beautiful. What would you say your typical homeschool day actually looks like? So when you wake up and your daughter wakes up, like, what do you do?
Yeah, so a typical day usually starts with me waking up first. I wake up and I work early in the morning. And then my daughter will wake up. She typically makes her own breakfast and then she'll get started on her independent work. She may have some online classes that she's taken that day. So she'll take her online classes and then we will kind of meet in the middle and do our things together. And
Okay.
then for the rest of the day, then she kind of goes off and does her own thing again. She either finishes whatever work she didn't finish for the day, or if there's something else that she wants to explore, like she really loves drawing right now. So, and she really loves crafts. So she'll say, "Oh, mommy, I'm going to look up a craft. Like, I have all these extra toilet paper rolls that I've been saving. I'm going to look up a craft to do that." So then I kind of just let her do her own thing. So
Okay.
that is a typical day, which honestly, we might have two of those days a week.
Awesome. So you get a lot of the together time in the morning, or you said like mid-afternoon. Then in the
Mhm.
afternoon, she has her free time to work on crafts and drawing, and she has some online classes too in the mornings, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right. Now, did you homeschool before the pandemic?
I did. We
Okay.
started actually homeschooling 1 year before the pandemic.
Ah, okay.
I don't know, call it intuition, call it the Holy Spirit. I just
Right.
felt like I was
Something
like,
happened.
right, something is happening.
Yeah.
This just doesn't feel right. We need to make a shift. So
Yeah.
when the pandemic did happen, it wasn't a huge change for us. The only thing that really was a big change is like we literally were home all the time now. We couldn't go to all of our activities.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you. Like, how did it change? How did your homeschool, um, like your, how did your homeschooling change since the pandemic? So it probably didn't change too much, right? So, um,
Yeah, we we had our first year and then our second year was during the pandemic, if my math is correct. So we were in a few activities, but not a ton. So of course those got shut down. Some of them moved to online. And then we found this really cool community called Cultural Corner. It's on Facebook. It was just a group of melanated moms who came together and they were like, hey, all of our stuff is shut down. Let's do some online activities for the kids. So they had a schedule every single week and the kids could log in and they would do different things. They would learn time, they would learn different math things, they would learn about Black inventors, they would have a cooking class, sign language, Japanese, all kinds of stuff. And it was free because all of these moms were providing resources for kids all across the nation because we didn't have that opportunity anymore in our community. So that was really the biggest shift.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we still use it today, even though we're able to go out now and do things in the community. She's still every morning, she's like, okay, Mom, what cultural corner classes are there today?
I love that. So Kaylani, these are cultural classes. Are these live classes like Zoom classes?
Yes, these are Zoom classes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to leave a link to that in the resources. I didn't know about
Absolutely.
that. That's awesome. Cultural corners. Okay. And let's see. So now we all have our favorite things and our least favorite things about homeschooling. So I'm going to ask you to pull out some least favorite things that you can share with us. And then we're going to hop over to the positives too. But what are some things that you wish either you could change about homeschooling right now or that you just really don't like about it?
Okay, least favorite things. I would say I don't like to drive personally. So my least favorite thing is probably driving to all the activities. I love the activities once we get there. We love the people, we love the community, but the actual act of getting there.
Yes.
Right. Transporting her there. And then I'm like, when I signed her up for all these things, I didn't really think about that becoming my schedule. So I really dislike that. And I guess on a deeper level, something that I really dislike is that I think as homeschool moms, we're always consciously or subconsciously thinking that like our kid is behind or that there's something that they don't know that kids who are public or private school may know. So that little like nagging feeling that you always get, I definitely don't like that aspect of it.
Yes, that's so easy for us to experience, especially the longer we homeschool, then the doubts start to creep in like, am I doing the right thing? I don't know. As I'm getting into the high school with my second daughter right now, high school years. So yeah, those ideas are churning in my head right now. Like, are you sure? but it's something that we can combat with community, like coming together and telling each other, girl, you got this, we can do this, right? So we have resources. And I love that you mentioned cultural corners, right? Because that's a community, it's virtual, but it helps us to connect and to provide a resource for our children to connect with each other online. So I think that's just beautiful. But yes, you're right. We do have those ideas sometimes that, what are we really doing here? And are we making the right decision? So
yeah,
that's one of my least favorite things too. But now, what about favorite things? What makes you feel that you've made the best decision for your daughter? And how do you know that this is a good decision for you?
Ooh, that's a great question. Okay, so my favorite things of homeschooling, number one, is the freedom, like the freedom to choose. I know sometimes that can be very overwhelming to a lot of people, but for me, that is what makes it so beautiful. Your kid may be super advanced in math, but then they need extra help in reading. So the freedom to kind of bounce between quote unquote grade levels and bounce between curriculums and activities and all that stuff. So I really like that. I like that she gets to do things that aren't conventional, so to speak. So, she takes a cooking class in the middle of the week, whereas, normal elementary school child would not be able to do that. They wouldn't have that opportunity. So I really love that about it. How do I know that it is the right decision? It is
Tough one.
right. That's a tough one. And it's a battle to really know that you're doing the right thing. But I feel like she's happier. She is grasping onto concepts
Yes.
much better than she would have if I kept her in public school. She's a very quiet girl. So if she does not understand something, she won't say it.
Mm,
And I know firsthand as a former public school teacher, if you have a classroom of 32 kids, this kid doesn't say anything and
exactly.
they get C's, they're average, it's not a big deal. I'm going to think, okay, cool, let's keep moving.
Right.
Um, so that's how I know it was the right decision because she's not lost in the sauce. If she doesn't get it, she has the opportunity to say, like, mommy, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you show me this in a different way?
Right.
So that is definitely how I know. I really don't think she would be where she is today had I left her in public school. No way.
Wow. That's saying a lot. Just
Yeah.
that one-on-one time that you have with her.
Hmm.
And you can see when she has a question, whereas maybe a teacher with 30 kids in their class wouldn't notice. So
Right.
to address that with her. So that's just, that one-on-one time is a lot. So very good. I want to know about you now. Like, so what are some projects you're working on? And just anything that you want to share as far as maybe blogs or anything that you're working on right now that could be helpful to the homeschool community, or just something that you're doing that makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I always have 101 projects going on. um, so one of the things that I'm really working hard on right now and I'm super passionate about is self-care for homeschooling moms. Because we spend a lot of time with our kids and we
Yes.
pour into them constantly. And then at the end of the day, we're like, okay, let's go to sleep. We don't really take the time to tend to ourselves.
Mm,
So myself and my business partner, we created something called Melanated Homeschool Collective, and it is a community for homeschool moms. We're not talking about curriculum and what sports to put the kids in and all that stuff. We're talking about how we can better take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually so that we can constantly refill our cup and pour into our kids. And also to realize that self care is not selfish. We are showing our children how they need to take care of themselves in the future. They start to value that.
yes.
And we kind of start making generational shifts. So I really love that. We hold workshops every single month, um, especially for mamas. Like there's always kids in the background sometimes that like pop in and things, but we are really focused on the self-care, the self-love journey of the mom. So that is my number one passion project right now.
What else do you have
um,
going on?
what'd you say?
What else do you have going on right now?
Yeah. So I have that. Also, I like to use my Instagram and my website, the homeschoolhelpmate.com, as well as my YouTube channel, the Homeschool Helpmate, just to provide inspiration and insight to people who are trying to transition to homeschooling, or they're not quite sure what they're doing, or they're having a bad year or bad week, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah,
Oh, I
those
love
are the
your projects. I love that. The
thank
the
you.
melanated, is it the homes? Tell me how we say it. The melanated homeschool collect
Collective.
collective.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is where moms can receive care for ourselves and
Mhm.
not necessarily have to think about homeschool stuff, right? Just leave that
Yeah.
to the side and come and be taken care of by each other.
Yes.
I love that. And you have this every month?
Yes. So we do a free event every month. It's called the Melanated Homeschool Mamas Lounge. It's the first Friday of every month. We get together, we play games, we do a self-care activity. And then we even have a little section called Rant and Raves. That's where we do get to talk about our homeschool for a few minutes, like what is going well with you or what is kind of bothering you in your homeschool. But then the rest of the time is spent on us. And then we do a paid workshop every single month, focus on different aspects of self-care for moms. So this month we're focused on physical self-care through nutrition. So we're doing some nutrition workshops, meal planning, having a cooking workshop, and all that sort of stuff. So
That sounds
yeah,
beautiful. I think I'm signing up.
yes, we would
Well,
love to see you
I need
there.
to be there. We all need to be there. So
Yes,
yes.
it
Okay.
really is an amazing time.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. Now, I want to know, I have a couple more questions for you, but I want to jump into some multicultural resources that maybe you have used in your homeschool that you'd like to share with others. So what are some of your favorite materials, curricula that you could share with other moms?
Okay, awesome. I would definitely recommend that Facebook group again, Cultural Corner. If you have a talent you want to share, or there may be something that you are interested, your child may be interested in, that is a really good place. Something else that I would recommend, Seed of Melanin is a great, great, great. I personally know them. They're actually a part of our co-op here in Tampa. They have great multicultural curriculum. They have a lot of things that are free. They have free guides. They have a YouTube channel, very educational. They have Black History stickers, shirts, all kinds of stuff. So I would definitely recommend them. It is a great jumping off point if you're like, I don't know what people to teach my kids about, or what
like where to start.
Where to start. I would definitely start there. They have a lot of awesome stuff, and they're developing new things all the time.
Okay.
I would recommend, there are some great teachers on Outschool who teach some really, really awesome classes. Teacher Jade does something called Writing for the Culture. I don't know if she sells it anymore, but I have it and I love it.
Okay. Nice.
She has Writing for the Culture. So it's kind of an infusion of writing with Black history. So that is great. The kids get to learn about it and then apply it through writing. There is a Decolonized Education by Iman on Outschool. There's so many resources for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Definitely going to look for Seeds of Melanin and the teachers that you mentioned on Outschool, teacher Jade and Iman.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you for those resources. So now we all have new things that we need to discover and see how they fit into our homeschool, if that's something that we want, that we're looking for our children. Lots of resources out there, and people who are willing to teach our kids things that maybe we don't feel comfortable, or we don't know where to start. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to get into some advice. So this is our encouraging moment, and we're going to encourage new homeschool moms and veteran homeschool moms, because those who are brand new to homeschooling need to keep going, right?
Yes.
and to know that each year it's just taking it step by step. But then those who have been in it for a long time are tired and need some extra encouragement and support also. So what would you say to both the new and the veteran homeschool mom?
Ooh, okay. So to the new homeschool moms, you can do it, but you don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it all now.
Yes.
I think when we go into homeschooling, we have on like this superhero cape that we are going to teach all the things, do all the things with our kid, and then we are disappointed or overwhelmed when it doesn't happen. Choose the thing that is most important to you and let that be the focus of your homeschool for the year or for half of the year. If it is building a better bond with your child, everything that you do in your homeschool should lead back to that. So don't try to do everything. There's not enough hours in the day. So
that's right.
Save yourself the stress, girl, and just pick one focus and go with that. Also, for new homeschooling moms, if you choose to use a curriculum, if you do not finish the curriculum or the workbook, it is okay. Your evaluator is not going to come and say, you know what, you skipped page 56. They're not going to say that. So do what is best for your child. If you need to leave that curriculum or skip around or do something else, then do that. Do what feels right.
Very good. Okay, I'm encouraged now. I'm a veteran
yes,
and I need some pick me up, because it's been 10 years, 15 years, and we're just like done. So,
right.
But we don't need to be done yet, right? So we need that.
Not yet. You got to graduate them out. Veteran homeschool moms.
Yes.
I would say, to be honest, outsource. You've probably been doing all the things for all the time and you are tired. And that is okay. That is logical. Don't be afraid. to outsource. If there is someone else who can better teach your child algebra or Spanish or art or whatever the case may be, outsource and let them learn from other people. And I think that also helps us veteran homeschool moms or new homeschool moms. It helps with the doubt too, because you have to like relearn everything to try to teach your kid. If you let someone else take hold of that, it kind of takes the pressure off of yourself as well. So outsource that thing, pay
Yes.
somebody for it, and take that time to work on yourself, and you'll be a happier, better homeschool mom for it.
Very good. Yes, 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 and yes. Thank you so much. Those are the words we need to hear. You know,
You are
it's
welcome.
okay. Let
It's
someone
okay.
else who knows what they're doing in that subject area be the one that helps your student, and you don't have to
Hmm.
know it all. There's no way we can know it all. So it's
Right.
good to outsource when we need to. Now, I've had a wonderful conversation with you today. I thank you so much for being here. I just want to know how our listeners can reach you. Where are the places online that they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast for sure. If you want to reach me, you can find me all over the interwebs. The homeschoolhelpmate.com, Instagram and YouTube are also the homeschool helpmate.
Very good. Thank you so much, Kaylani. Well, I hope you enjoyed that podcast interview. I really did. Kaylani's a lot of fun to talk to, and you can just tell that she's really here to help homeschool parents like us. And I mean, what she's doing is phenomenal. What she's got going on there in Tampa with her co-op and all the things she's doing for melanated homeschool mamas. So I hope that you'll check her out and see what she's doing and how she's helping, and see what you can do to support and maybe join some of those self-care workshops that she has every month, and see how it can be of help to you, because we mamas do need self-care, and we need to take time out to really just allow ourselves to be taken care of. And that's a wonderful opportunity for you as a homeschool mom to just relax and take a load off and enjoy some girls' night out time with other homeschool moms. Okay, so that's all I have for you on this podcast. I hope this has been enjoyable to you, and please leave me a review in iTunes. You can check out my website, christianhomeschoolmoms.com, and I also have a course for you. So if you're interested in learning how to plan out your year for homeschooling next year, you can check that out as well. And that's called the Homeschool Boss Mama Goal Planner, and you can also find that at my website under products or courses. So go to christianhomeschoolmoms.com and click on courses, and you'll find that course available for you and teachable. Okay, so that's all for now. And until next time, happy homeschooling.